Hello everyone and welcome back to the Drive Guide, and today we've got Jane Stranger with me. It's an absolute pleasure having you, Jane. Thank you for coming along to this car that I have told you nothing about.
Nothing.
Which is exactly the point, because this car is kind of more than the name. It's more than what a lot of people are giving it credit to, because it doesn't have the kind of name that you might expect to a car that has 4 doors, a hatchback, and has a 3.3 litre twin turbo V6, which I'm going to show you how fast it can be later. But first, we need to address what you think of this car. Upon first impression, what do you think of the interior, the exterior? What's your immediate thought?
Sleek. I really like when you get in. It's simple, yet you do have a lot of the bells and whistles just taking a look around at it.
Okay. Now, what do you mean by bells and whistles? What justifies a whistle for you?
Heated seats.
Heated seats, yeah.
Really adjustable seats. It's looking like you've got a lot of adjustable parts, but not too many. Like
Okay.
vents and radios and pop-up screens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Yeah.
So then when you associate things that, by what you're saying, things don't move around too much, do you classify this as a luxury feature when a car has, 20-way adjustable seats and can heat and cool them?
Yes.
Okay, so that's like a mark of luxury, a mark of premium vehicles to you.
Very much so.
Now I'm just switching in the sport mode because this is the one thing people can't believe when they get into this car. The kind of speed it is capable of. But 0 to 100 kilometers in this car can happen in 4.6 seconds. That's nearly as fast as a BMW M550i that I had quite a while ago. It costs $92,000 at 455 horsepower, twin turbo V8. This is a twin turbo V6, and it's pretty comparable to this. That could do it in 4. This is 4.6. So it has a performance value close to, but not exactly, a BMW.
Whoa.
Keep that in mind.
Okay.
Let's talk about the interior. What do you think of it here?
I love the leather and the stitching, and the silver on black definitely looks good.
That's a good look for you.
Yeah. Looks fast. Hey, we just proved it is.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Lots of different adjustable vents going around, which is great, and then tons of legroom. Like,
oh yeah,
you've got long legs, and it doesn't look like you're cramped in there at all.
No, I'm good. I probably wouldn't be able to sit behind myself comfortably, but I can make do up here.
Okay.
And you talk about the vents here, like these 3 side-by-side vents is very reminiscent of what Mercedes is currently doing in a lot of their vehicles.
Okay.
So if you haven't noticed a theme, I'm bringing up names that, have a lot of prestige to them. When you see a BMW, you kind of associate it as a good car, no matter what it is.
Right.
Whoever's paid for it has paid a fair amount of money on it.
Yes.
This car is competing directly against BMWs and Audis, specifically the cars that have the hatchback, just like this one. The most comparable BMW probably costs, let's say, $58,000.
Okay.
The most comparable Audi costs $62,000 starting. This one, top trim, no more options can be added to it, is $50,000.
Wow.
So what thought goes through your mind when you hear that?
That we've got a comparable car that's going for a much nicer price tag for a budget-conscious minded person like myself.
Okay, so when we say budget, and despite everything that we've experienced so far, you like the looks of this car, you like how it feels, you like how fast it is. Does it feel like a budget-badged vehicle?
No, not at all.
All right, so you ready?
Yes?
This is a Kia.
No way!
This is the Kia Stinger GT. Now, this car is meant to invoke that exact reaction.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's trying to make people rethink, do they really need a BMW when they have to pay the badge premium?
Yes.
In a way, there's a lot of things that can justify why a BMW is worth more money. I mean, the materials in here are great, but it's the detail things that people buying German vehicles are really looking for. But with this, we're looking at a car that has everything that those vehicles can have at a significantly different price, and with a badge that, might not have that same wow factor, but it's dependable. It's got all of the same, warranties, it's got all of the same reliability behind it, and I think it's proven itself.
Yes, I definitely agree with you on that one.
So
it's gorgeous.
So is there anything that you don't like about this car on first look?
Ooh, on first look, nothing that I really saw.
Okay.
You pulled up, it was a beautiful car pulling up, looked really good. And we talked about the trunk being really large already. So gear, you can still fit it in, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, when you say it's a beautiful car, I think this is also another element of the Stinger as well, is that it has a very divisive design because it is very strange. It has some detail things that you question when you look at it over time.
Yeah.
But I didn't like the look of this car when I saw it in pictures, but when I saw it in person, like the wide hips that you can see in the wing mirror, I think that's its best physical feature. And then it's got other good little details too, like those vents down by the wheels. They're real, so they can actually channel air and make it a more aerodynamically efficient vehicle.
Okay.
And
how about the ones on the hood?
well, those are fake. And that's one of the things that really annoys me in any car, is when they're given fake vents. Just don't put anything there. You're not putting a hole in it. What's the point of it? I could go on a real rant with this thing. I promise you. But in the time I've had this car, what I've noticed is you have to be a really sociable person. Like, people want to talk to you when you're in this car. A lot of people are asking, what is that? And as soon as you tell them it's a Kia, they have the exact same response as you. One of the most fascinating things in advertising to me is how well things can be sold simply on a logo. Like, you don't need to see the word Nike on a shoe. You just need to see that little swooshing tick, right?
Yes.
But you can think that Nike is a more premium brand than, I don't know, what's another shoe brand? What's something lesser than Nike?
Oh, like a Skechers or,
Yeah, so you have those two shoes side by side, you immediately think the Nike costs more and it's worth more and it's a better shoe, and then, there's a good portion of the time and it's not true.
Right.
So that was why I told you absolutely nothing about this car.
And it's an awesome surprise. Like, wow.
How much do you think of the noise?
Okay, that sounds awesome.
What do you think about Kia as a company? This is obviously a very different vehicle for them.
Yes, very different. Like, when I think of Kia, I know it might be stereotypical, but I think of small and compact and, again, price point type vehicles.
Yeah.
I don't think of beautiful trim and the sleek design, like we were saying before. That's not something that comes to mind.
Okay.
So I feel like they've branched out on this one.
Yes.
And I would not have expected that.
Well, this is a real departure for them. For this, as a first effort to compete against the likes of BMW and Audi, I personally think they've pulled it off. It's going to be a matter of how well they can sell this idea to people.
Right.
How many people are walking into a BMW dealership and then say,
you know what?
I want a Kia instead.
Yeah. That'll be a very hard sell for them, but I think they've started off really well.
Who do you think is going to buy this car wanting it in their driveway? Who do you think is going to own a vehicle like this?
Ooh, I am seeing those people who are willing to take a risk and not be influenced as much by that logo we said, like the BMW.
Yeah.
People who are like, hey, I really want to go test drive these cars. Let's see how they compare side by side. And I think this one will have a good chance of being that one that they pick.
You absolutely have to take a risk because, it's almost like you have to sort of explain why you did it.
Yeah.
Like, in my mind, you have to be more of a social individual to want to buy this car.
Right.
So that you can have the conversation with an Audi owner. Saying like, I've got the exact same car as you in a way, like when we're talking about price and performance and features, but it's a Kia.
Yeah. That's so cool.
So this is the interesting space in which we're living in. A lot of car companies are doing things that we didn't think they could ever do.
Right.
And in my personal opinion, Kia has really succeeded with this Stinger.
I agree with you on that one.
So then, last note, what do you think of the name Stinger? You can see it on the carpets down below, and there's a badge on the outside, but there isn't like a lot to tell you what this is. Stinger, brand new name, of course, brand new car. There's never been one like this. What do you think when you hear the word Stinger?
Oh, it evokes kind of like a different reaction to you. I would have never known it was Stinger. Honestly, it's not there very much, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't honestly know. I'm just a little bit at a loss for how you're associating that with a car, me personally. But.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I kind of think it's a dumb name.
Okay.
I don't like cars with names. I like cars with numbers, and because I'm, very analytical and dull as an individual. But like Stinger
doesn't evoke anything.
Yeah, it's lacking in a way some panache. Like if this was an Italian car and like whatever the Italian word for Stinger is, you go, ooh,
yes,
that's exciting. But because it's coming from a Korean company with a very English word, it's just a little weird to me. It could be named anything. They could have named it the Six or the, I don't know, the Metal. It could have had any name.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect what I think of the car, but Stinger is just, it's getting as mixed of reactions as the entire mission itself.
I can definitely agree with you on that one. Okay. Yeah.
So then, closing thoughts, if you could sum up everything about this Kia in one sentence, what would you say?
I think it would be a wonderful car to get, sleek and beautiful and fast, and sounds really good too. So yeah, definitely one I would buy on my own.
So you would like to own this vehicle at some point in your life if you had, the funds and you were looking for that kind of vehicle and that kind of, use. Because, I mean, for someone young like us, we don't necessarily need 5 seats.
Very true.
But maybe one day when you have a family, but you don't want to buy the SUV yet.
This would probably
This could be the car.
Yes.
Well, Jane, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And if you want to see my full review to the Stinger, you can click the card right above me. And with the Joe Random video, that is also available, so watch that one too. Thank you so much for checking this video out. Have a wonderful rest of your day.